Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to change object using AI tool in Photoshop. And also, we will dive deeper into using selection tool like object selection tool, lasso tool, and using generative fill. So let's get started. So here in our document, I prepared here an image, and our goal here is to change the objects to it using an AI tool. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to get our object selection tool. So going on to the toolbar, well, you can find the object selection tool showing this icon, all right, showing this tool. So what you have to do is to click that. Now, once we already have this, let's focus on the mouse cursor because our goal here is to try to detect all the objects on the images that this object selection tool can detect. Okay, so let's start first detecting all these objects. Okay, so it can detect this one. All right, you can see the markings, the pink marking. All right, also this. So we already know what are the objects that we can instantly change. Okay, so let's start first with the floor. All right, this one. Okay, so once I click that, we have an instant selection all over the floor. See? Amazing, isn't it? Okay, and then go to the contextual taskbar. Well, you can find this one. You can just go to Window and then choose on contextual taskbar. There you are. All right, so with this selection and with this contextual taskbar, click on generative fill. And then let's try to change the floor now. I want to change it to a red carpet. So I'm going to type down red carpet. Okay, then hit generate. All right, so once done generating, okay, so we can see here the variations on the properties panel. The first variation that we have is already applied here. All right, it shows this red carpet. Let's go to the properties panel and check on the others. Okay, let's go to the second variation. All right, well, this one also looks cool. It's not that red compared to the first one. Let's check on the third one. Okay. Now this one has a smaller carpet on it. Okay, so in my case, I'm gonna use the second one. Alright, this one looks fine to me. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Well, the next step we're gonna do here is we're going to change the color of the table. So let's go and click on the background layer and let's try to detect on the table. Alright, there you go. If you can't think of a prompt that you want to apply here, well, you can just choose, once we already have this selection, you can just hit generated fill, and you don't need to write down the prompt. So let's just check what will Photoshop do to this table without adding a prompt to it. Okay, so let's go, click on the generative fill. We're not going to apply any prompt to it. Okay, then before I do that, I'm going to deselect this background layer. All right, there you go. With this selection, then hit on generate. All right, so there you go. It instantly changed. Wow, this one looks cleaner. We can also check on the other variation. So let's go to the properties panel and click on the second variation. It's just a pure white. Let's go to the third one. Okay, this one is also fine, but I'm not satisfied with the stand. So I'm gonna choose on the second one. This one looks clean. Let's change another thing here. Now let's change the seat, okay? So I'm going to first click on the background layer, right? So that it can detect the objects on this layer. So I'm going to make selection on this instantly with the use of an object selection tool. There you are. So now, as you have noticed here, once I already have the selection, okay, now let's deselect on the background layer. One, you can just click on somewhere else. All right, there you go. No more selection. No, there's no more layer selected. Okay. Then let's go to generative fill and let's add here a padded chair. All right. Let's be specific. Let's write down the color that we want. Okay. Let's say I want a red padded chair. All right. Then hit enter. All right. There you go. Now it provides us this kind of variation. So this is the first one. It's a padded chair with only one stand. That's okay. Let's go to the second variation. All right, now this one looks simple. Let's go to the third one. This is not the kind of chair that I want, so I'll go with the first one. Okay, there you are. That's amazing. Okay, now let's change the basket here and let's fill it with some fruits. Okay, so again, just the same thing we did. Click on the background layer, get the object selection tool, Create a selection of the object that you want to change. There you go. Then click on generative fill. Now this time I'm gonna put some fruits to it. So I'm gonna put the prompt basket with fruit. Okay, let's deselect on the background layer. There are no more layers selected. Okay, then hit generate. All right, there you go. Let's see. All right. Well, all right. They just okay. Photoshop didn't add any fruit to it, but it just changed on the basket. Look at the third one. Now this one looks like a metal fruit basket. Okay, so let's change this one. Okay. All right. So let's try it again. Click on the background layer. This time, instead, I'm going to make use of the object selection tool. I'm going to make use of a lasso tool. Create a selection around that basket over there. There we go. Then generative fill. Let's change the prompt. Okay. Basket with orange and bananas. Then deselect the background layer. Hit generate. There you are. Okay, now it's already changed. Now let's go to the variation. This is the first one. Bananas with orange with a basket. Cool. Okay, now this one looks also cool, right? But it has a bigger fruits. Okay, and this one looks very simple. Okay, so I'll go with the third one. Okay, there are. Lastly, let's change one more object. Let's go and get the object selection tool. Okay, now let's change the things on the table. So I'm going to click on the background layer. For the options panel, make sure this one is selected so that we can add more selections. Okay, let's create a selection first on the top part of the book. Okay, also this glass, also the book under it. Now I already have selection on these three. Deselect the background layer. Hit generative fill. Let's add the prompt. Let's say vase with roses. Okay, hit generate. All right, there you go. That's the first variation. Let's check on the others. Okay, this one looks cool. All right, it added other things around it. All right, I'll choose this one. Okay, and there you have it. Now let me show you the before and after. This one is the before, and this one is the after. And that is how to change object using AI tool in Photoshop.